All right, y'all. So I'm actually getting ready for a show tonight. And I'm actually gonna leaving in the next half hour to 30 to an hour. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys exactly what I'm bringing with me and why. Um, and just gonna get started with my gimbal bag. Okay, so gimbal bag. The reason why I call it that is, as you can see in here, I have my camera gimbal. Okay, um, then I also have my phone gimbal, the DJI bag. Okay, these are the ones that you guys will normally see me talk about from time to time. So these are what these are. Okay, and this is a bag that keeps just those things. Now I have other accessories, like I got a compartment for extra batteries for my camera. I got actual batteries, cords, uh, like I said, cords and attachments, things that go with my other stabilizers, for example. Um, and then I also keep my speed light. So this is my speed light here that goes as my camera, of course, when I'm doing like night events. So tonight I'll be using this just because of the fact that I have an event that's obviously in the nighttime, and I want to make sure that I'm actually getting some really quality pictures. So this is my speed light. Okay, it took me about 4 different purchases to get the right one, by the way. So this is why it's very important to know your camera. Okay, so and I actually have batteries for this too. I'm gonna go over all of that stuff with you right quick. So this I usually keeping this in my gimbal bag, but I'm leave it out. I gotta test it before I actually pack it up. So that'll be here. And these are the batteries that I use with my speed light. And the reason being is because if you don't have batteries like this, and there's a specific term, ion lithium, specific term that I usually have to have, but they look, if you got find it on Amazon, these would be great. Okay, because what it means is if you're grabbing some really good super speed, really high charged batteries, what'll take place is when you're taking pictures, you're not having to worry about the recycle time. So if you're taking pictures with flash, sometimes you want the flash to show up every time you take the picture. Sometimes if you're using batteries that are like from the dollar store or just regular Energizer batteries, it might take a long time for you to get that. So you may have to sit and wait to take that flash, and you don't want to do that because it's time consuming for one, and then they'll drain the batteries a lot quicker because they're not made for that. And for two, it's a bad look if you're kind of having to sit there and wait for the flash to kick on because it's not ready because of your battery. So this will help save you a lot of time and money. Okay, so that's that. I already have these charges last night, so I will be putting this in my gimbal bag to also make sure that I have that in place. Okay, so and then another priority that I like to have, I will make sure I'll bring that up to you guys as well, are battery chargers. So this is a solar battery charger, okay, and this is another battery charger. I like this one just because it can actually it lets you know how much percentage you have. So these are really good, and then you got your basic ones, which are still really good because if I there's a button right here and it'll tell me how much is charged. Okay, so I usually have multiple of these. So I'm bringing all three of these tonight. So this will let me know exactly how much I have to work with. Okay, and of course this even has a flashlight at the bottom of it. But nonetheless, making sure that you are not running out of batteries, making sure that you are not running out of power. There's been maybe 2 or 3 times when I actually went to a show and my phone was dying and I was recording with my phone and I had to literally plug in my phone and while I was recording to one of these on my hip. So it was very important to have these on hand. And then there might be times where your gimbal might be running low on charge, but that's happened to me too a couple of times. And I've had to have the big gimbal and my phone on one of these chargers while I'm recording, just so that they don't shut down on me. Okay, and it worked. So these are lifesavers. So these will definitely go into this gimbal bag. Again, these are my accessories um, and things that I know that I will need. Okay, so I'll put that here. All right, now another thing that I know that I'll need, and you guys, I'm kind of using it right now, is my mics. So these are my mics. So this is right now. This is one of the mics. This is basically just like this one. So this one comes in a pack of two. So that way I can have two conversations for whatever reason. And this is just my very first mic that I've had, but I still use it. And sometimes I have my client, my partner will actually use it for her podcasting, right? So that it comes in handy just because it blocks out all the outside sound, outside noise. So that way it is sounding like this versus me sounding like somebody doesn't have a mic. Okay, so there's that. All right. Do I need lighting in here? feel like I might need it. Better. I got lighting. Okay, cool. So that's that part. All right. So now the next thing, since this pretty much is all set, gimbals are charged, batteries are charged for this. I'm going to test this out. These are good. I'm gonna go over the camera right quick so I can go ahead and finish wrapping that up. But this is the camera bag, the infamous camera bag. Another portable charger. I keep this book on me at all times, just so if I need to go through it and look at anything. Other accessories that go with my, typically, if I need to do something with my gimbal, because I'll have like other compartments that go with it, and my speed light trigger. So this is basically what I would use if I am shooting, and I'm shooting, but I don't need the speed light directly on my camera. I needed to go through a softbox. I have videos of that, so I'll upload them here as far as on Patreon, so you guys can see really the in-depth process of that and why. But that's mostly for like photography, right? But this trigger, it took me it took me about, I'll say when I finally got it, it took me about like a couple of days to really understand how to use it. I'm still mastering it, but I know how to get what I need to get out of it so I can make my shoots. Now it's about adjusting the lighting, but we'll talk about that and work on that together. So this is my memory card bags. Okay, this one is a new one because I filled up my old one. So these are for my memory cards. Same thing with this one, memory cards. I know this is one of the first ones I have, so as you can see, some are missing. That's because I've been having to go through them, and then ultimately, the precious baby that does it all for me is my actual camera. Okay, and I'm gonna leave this down here because again, I gotta test it out. Um, Actually, you know what? Let me talk about it, then I'll put it down. So right now, I'm gonna show you guys a little bit, but I have other videos that goes in depth with this. So right now it's on the movie section. Do you see that? So now, of course, if you look at it, the battery is definitely low, but I got other batteries that I already charged. So I got some time, so I can put this on charge as well. But I got others that are fully charged. We just have extras. And then, of course, this is where we be connected to the gimbal. This is my battery compartment with SD card and the actual battery that needs to be charged. And of course, you see all of these things. Now, this is not a mirrorless camera. Mirrorless means that I can definitely take the screen out and I can look at it while I'm recording. So this one is not mirrorless, but that's my next buy. And this one is the Canon T7 Rebel. The next one up that I want to get is the 8, and it's only because it does have the mirrorless and it also shoots in 4K. So this one, it shoots the highest is in 1080. Okay, but I have no problem with it. I love it. I love it because keep in mind, 4K takes up a lot of space. So if I am want to get in 4K, at first it's going to take a lot of space, and two, you're gonna have to get into really some in-depth color grading because of the LUTs you have to understand to use when it comes to shooting in RAW, because it's going to give you that kind of grayscale type footage. But that's another video for another day. But ultimately, this is the bad boy right here. I got my kit lens. This one right here. I actually love being able to use all my lenses. I have my kit lens. I got my zoom lens. I got, I think, a one or two zoom lens. One zoom lens. And that one, this was a zoom lens as well. That just means that I can zoom in and out. There's a kit lens because it came with the kit. Now the other one, it came with the kit, but it wasn't attached to it. So that's more like if I'm in the mountains or I'm shooting mountains things or animals flying out from afar, it's like a much larger zoom. So that's another one that I have. But again, I'll make a video that goes over the specifics of the camera itself. Okay, so there's that. Then other things that I keep in here, go over that right quick. Other things that I keep in here, obviously, my lens covers, lotion, if I'm not pulling myself. You got my flash drives. I always need flash drives. And then, of course, cough drops, because there's been times I have to go with a little cough. And then, of course, I got shea butter. So put those in there, these in there. And then what I also will have is my other lens. See that? This is definitely one of my lenses that I use. It's a 35 right here. All right. These are really good. These are up close. These will definitely give you the blur background. But you got to be cautious about the type of lenses you get because it may also not give you the auto stabilization, which is needed when it comes to recording with a gimbal. So that's something I will talk about. Okay. And then of course you got this other gimbal right here. I mean, other camera right here, which is, I love this camera. This lens. This is my 50. 50 is like a blend between your kit lens and the 35. This one is closer. It's probably the closest, one of the closest ones I have, but it gives you, of course, that nice blur, but it's also very crisp, and the lighting comes in because of the focal point that you can get out of here. That's aperture, which I will go over to. And then, of course, here I just got stuff for my tripod to connect. I got my ND lens, and this is great for outside if it's really, really sunny. That way you can use this without it compromising what you have your settings and having to really adjust more than you need to. Another lens cover, oils to smell good, some business cards, and notes if I want to decide to take notes based off of how work is going. So I'm gonna adjust all of this again. So that's that. Okay, to have my lunch. So so those all get together, and now the biggest thing that I want to make sure that I am really doing here, because I want you guys to really get an idea of what it is that I have going on. Okay, so if you can see here, and I'm gonna do my best to bring it down. Okay. All right. So, cords that go with my chargers. I want to make sure I have one, and I also need to make sure that my assistant has one. So I always bring extras. So these are the ones I'm gonna keep, and I will put it right here to make sure that it is in my bag, so I'm not losing that. Now, when it comes to a show that I have to set up lights for, now right now, typically because I've just really started getting to the habit of bringing my own lights, they've been in this bag. It's ghetto. It's fine if it's ghetto. So for me, I used this bag the last show, but this time I don't want to bring it, so I kind of want to replace it. So, and because of the way that my setup is done, I want to make sure that, of course, don't forget this. So I make sure I bring my LED controller, remote control, and make sure that there's batteries in it. All right, and luckily I have extra batteries in my bag just in case. Okay, so these are coming with me. So making sure that's that. Then what I'm doing now is I'm actually gonna take out what I needed from here and put it in this bag because this bag had some old stuff in it, but I don't necessarily need them right now, so I can switch it out. Even though this is a Postmates bag, but it's fine. So this will be some things that I'll definitely be purchasing. I'm actually going to, since I just did a rebrand, I will be doing a branding um, video, I guess you could say, of everything that I'm getting to make my business look like an official business. Because it's even the shirt got to change. Um, I need to get actual proper baggage with my logo on it. I have a cart, but it's in the other storage right now. So all those things need to come into play. So just dumping this out because I don't need any of these. These are like old podcast equipment. Okay, so now I do have my stands. This is typically what I would need. So this is a bag. This bag is apparently it's a newer bag, but they were actually stands for my lighting. So in this case, I am using it for lighting, but I'm using it so I can put my lights on something. So because typically the lighting would be like a softbox, but for these, this would be for my lighting to light up a studio for like tonight. Okay, so I have these already locked in, so I don't want to get rid of take these out. So I am going to, and there's only two of them. So I'll go ahead and put these in right here, just like so. Okay, and then of course make sure that this is wrapped up. So this is good. This is good to go. I don't have to do nothing else with this. I can leave this right here. Now for these, okay, for these, I last show I had both of these. Now these are floodlights. Okay, I have a video specifically that I talked about floodlights. Again, I got a lot of videos, but I need to actually upload them, so I will be doing that. But these are floodlights, and they are very very bright. But the beauty of that is that when you understand how to position the lights, you can make them work for you versus against you. But at the last show, they worked out beautifully. I was very very happy with that. I actually feel like these shorter lights are actually brighter than these, but it also depends on where you're blasting that at. So there's something to consider. But I would normally, if I don't have my stand, to be on the ground, but that also kind of limits you because it could again just be on the ground, unless you're going to doing something that involves you just sitting down. But if you're doing like a show that involves polars, then you want to make sure that you have lighting that can go, can fill up the room a little more. So this is why I have these going on those stands. And I will actually, when I get to the studio, I will make a video or show me setting these up because what I do is I set them up and I use a screw because they don't come all together. So I had to make it the way that I wanted to. So I use a screw, one of these, and I attach this to my actual stand. And all I do is connect it to an extension cord and face it to wherever I need to. And usually I'm facing it away from the crowd, just so that way it's not giving that extra right on your face type thing. And especially if I'm recording, I don't want it to. You just see this big bright redness all over the Polar's face, and it's not cute. It's not cute. So make sure I am taking those things into consideration. Um, but I got two of these, so I'm putting this right here in the bag. That's one of them, and then I got the other one. So make sure I'm wrapping it like so. Okay, and then of course my extension cords. So I have right now two. Um, I'm probably gonna bring all of these just so it can be safe on the safe side. Because I got even this, I don't feel like I'll need. But you always kind of for some things. Some things you kind of want to bring more than you need to, just that way you're not leaving or using less, or leaving more than you're needing, so that way you're showing up with less equipment. Does that make sense? I feel like I confused myself, but it made sense in my head. So it's better to have it than to not have it than to need it and not have it. There you go. So now extension cord that was never opened, but again, you just never know. So I will put that in here. I will also put this in here. Okay, and then I have, because I already got these already selected. So typically these would be the ones that I would attach to my device, to my lighting. So I will show you guys again when I set it up, so you guys see what it looks like. So I got two of these, and that's all I really need for those. If I happen to use the other two lights, they'll be on the ground, and as long as nobody's walking over them, then I should be fine. Last show, I put one on the ground just to test it out. Everybody was walking across it, so I said, yeah, I don't need that no more. So I got rid of it, which was fine because it was mostly excessive. So these, of course, they go here as well. I got some more of this, so I probably will include this, put this here. I don't think I'm gonna need all of these. This one has never been used, so I don't need that. But knowing me, I'm probably gonna bring both of my remotes just to make sure I'm on the safe side. More batteries for my camera. Make sure that's also good. Which I need to go ahead and put these on charge. All right, so this. Okay. Now for these, I'm probably gonna put this. Oh, I got another bag in here. So luckily, when you buy things, no matter where you buy, so because as we know, now when you're shopping, you get a lot of baggies. I use these for almost everything. So wherever I got this from, thank you so much because I'm using it now. So I'll probably put some of these in here. I'll bring the screw container, but these are the ones I know I'm gonna go to for sure, just so I can ensure that I know I don't have to look for them. I'm gonna grab these and try them out, and I'm gonna show you why. Because the screw container is kind of ghetto, but again, I'm not sure about it being ghetto. I just want it to work. So put that in there. But this looks like this, okay? And depending on what you're using and where you're using them at, that could determine on which one you need. And for my stands, these will be perfect because I don't need them to be excessive. Now, when it comes to something like this, for example, something like this is how they are coming. So when I get them, they're like this. But again, depending on what you're using, it could determine on if you need something bigger or whatever to make it really work. So I'm gonna leave it at this. Now, here's another example because I just showed you one of the stands. There's another stand. So here's another, this stand right here. So you see how wide that is. Now, if I could fit it down there, of course, it would go through and I would have to put the cord here. but it can't. So this means I won't be able to use this with this. Okay, but this would be good for like other things. Obviously, actual softbox that for the lighting and those types of things. So I'm giving you tips that you can use right now that you can utilize to grow your business without you having to spend so much money. Because to have everything already set up for you is going to cost you. And it's not a bad fee, but it's being prepared to pay that fee. So I will also put this in here, and I got another one just like it, just in case I need this one as well. Put that in there, and then I'm gonna roll up these. These are gonna go in here, so that way it gives me 4 extension cords. Put this in here right now, so that way I already know where that's at. Perfect. Now, these might not always be the best looking things, but you can make it work. So for this one, I'm not gonna wrap it just because it'll definitely take a lot. So, but ultimately, if you can wrap it, that's great. Please do so if you can. Okay, so that's that one. Then with this one, I can actually wrap this one because it's not too bad. It's like that. That's it. So this is my setup just for tonight. And I'm only gonna be there 3.5 hours. Like that's the only time I'm actually booked for. So by the time my 3.5 hours hits, I'll confirm with the person that booked me to let them know that I'm leaving. So that way they are aware, and I gather all of my equipment, and I go. So ideally, this is my lighting bag. Okay, as you can see, these are the lights I just put in here. These are lights on the opposite side of that. Extension cord is right here in the middle. Simple. And you think I'm delivering donuts. Okay? But, and then I can zip it up. And it looks so much better than me having this Aldi bag. So that's it. That's for the lights. That's all that setup right there. So bring this over so I can give you an idea. So if you book me for a show, this is what you'll get. Okay? Till you get this bag. This bag. Keep my these things I'm carrying. So you don't have to worry about you touching it. This bag. Okay? And of course, this bag. That's my setup right there. Now, it's actually not a lot because once I put this book bag on, I'm gonna put that over my shoulder and I can carry these two in my hand. That's really it. But it does make more sense for me to have a rolling cart just so that way these can ultimately have one place to be. So then when I leave out, all I gotta do is just come in and out, just have these in one cart versus me carrying multiple pieces. But I will show you guys my rolling cart when I get it together, and I'll show you that simplified setup. But this is gonna take care of me for tonight, and I get my payment, and I'll be out the door because I got the first deposit, which we will talk about how to set up your payments as well. If you decide to do this for a business. So, yes, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video.